Haggai shows up and he's like, is it time for you to live in paneled houses while the house of the Lord stands desolate? So he reinvigorates them. He arouses them to action, to build the house. Finish the work. You started it. Now finish the work. And it's really build this house so I may take pleasure in it. This house will be of greater glory than the first house. And so he inspires them and reinvigorates them to finish the work which they had started. And this is a great book to inspire you to build God's house. And we are God's house right now in a way that we're the temple of the Holy Ghost. So how are you building the house of the Lord? This is a great inspirational message. So Haggai inspired them to finish that second temple. He says, I'm going to come and I'm going to take pleasure in it. And then this is followed by the book of Zechariah. And Zechariah is also full of these wild, these really cool prophetic visions that Zechariah gets. So Zechariah follows the book of Haggai. So this book can be divided. It can be divided into two, and it's the early prophecies in chapters 1 through 8 are about the rebuilding of the temple, and then the latter prophecies, chapters 9 through 14, are the prophecies that would be fulfilled after the temple was built. So at first, when I looked at Zechariah, I'm like, why does God have to give up? I mean, these prophecies are wild. You're like, why does God? They're kind of bizarre, and just like these these 4 horses and their riders, and the young man with the measuring line and the candlestick and the olive trees and this like giant scroll. And at first I was kind of like, why did God give these? What was the importance of these prophetic visions? Now the first there's 7 in this first 8 chapters, and they're all given in one night. And kind of as I thought about it, and it was kind of looking at the different periods of the nation's history and thinking about, Haggai had inspired them to continue the building. Why did they need these wild prophetic visions? And they really do, these visions capture imagination. I mean, they're really wild, and they were meant to inspire. So rebuilding the temple was hard. The land was devastated, and there was only a remnant, and the work was hard. And it harkened me back to Proverbs when it says, without vision, the people cast off restraint. Without revelation, the people perish. It was the revelation that inspired them, gave them discipline, gave them assurance. It captured their, the curiosity, so they could stay engaged in the work. And what I found is prophecy and revelation, prophetic revelation, is really important when you have to do a difficult work. When everything seems to be falling apart or broken around you, having revelation in that moment is the most important. You need it then. And that's what Zechariah's prophecies did for them. And they finished that temple. And then you see in the latter part, of the prophecies, Jesus shows up, just as Zechariah had prophesied, and he was crucified. They would look on the one they would pierce. So you have and the disciples were scattered because God would strike the shepherd. This is more prophecies about things would happen later. But those prophecies in the moment inspired them to finish the work, and ultimately Messiah would come to this second temple. So in the difficulty, it inspired them to finish the work. So if you're struggling, you really need a prophetic word. You need a prophetic revelation of God that will capture your emotions, that will inspire you to walk through the hard part of it and to get to the other side. I just want to pray for you. Lord, I pray for my friend and whoever may be listening to this YouTube. Lord, you may give them a prophetic word, a prophetic vision. Open the scrolls. They may capture a revelation that may inspire them to do the work, whatever difficult work that they need to do. And when we do the difficult, you do the impossible, Father. When we commit to doing the difficult, you do the impossible. And you bring the blessing, which is a revelation of yourself. And you bring your glory, Lord. So I pray for my friend and to have a revelation of Jesus, especially if they're going through a difficult time, and what you're trying to bring out of this, both in the near term and in the future.